Almost everyone says they want to invest someday, but when it's finally time to put in that very first dollar, they freeze. Why is your first investment often the hardest one you'll ever make, even when you know it's the right decision?
That's because your first investment isn't really about money. It's about emotion. We like to believe we're logical, but our brains are wired to protect us from loss. Before you've ever invested, every possible mistake feels enormous. You imagine markets crashing, making the wrong choice, or looking foolish. Ironically, the greatest risk isn't always losing money. It's spending years waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. Think about someone standing at the edge of a swimming pool. They spend 20 minutes testing the water with one toe, wondering if it's too cold. The moment they finally jump in, they realize it wasn't nearly as terrifying as they imagined. Investing works much the same way. Knowledge builds confidence, but action builds belief. I've met people who spent 5 years reading books, watching videos, and following financial news. They knew almost everything about investing, yet they owned nothing. Then they finally invested a small amount, an amount they could comfortably afford to lose. That single step changed everything. Suddenly, investing became something they did, not something they only studied. The real transformation wasn't in their portfolio, it was in their identity. They stopped thinking like consumers who only spend money. They started thinking like owners who let money work for them. That's a powerful psychological shift. The first investment teaches lessons no article, podcast, or video ever can. You experience market ups and downs. You learn patience. You realize that temporary fluctuations are normal. Most importantly, you discover that fear shrinks once action begins. Every experienced investor has one thing in common. They all had a first investment. None of them started with certainty. They started with courage. So if you're waiting until you feel completely ready, remember this. Readiness usually comes after the first step, not before it.
That's such an important perspective. If this conversation made you think differently about investing, subscribe for more insights into the psychology of wealth, and tell us in the comments, what's been holding you back from making your first investment? Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your future.